Okay, hello everyone. I'm Richard Dell, and this is John. Can you say your name in Chinese?
我的名字是陈弘阳 English name is John.
So we're going to talk a little bit about kicking and transitions to kicking in Wing Chun. This is a very complex subject, and there's lots of different kinds of ways to use kicking in Wing Chun, and by no means is this an exhaustive list or just some of the ways that we use Wing Chun to bridge and kick and so on. Well, one of the most common ways we use Wing Chun is in kicking is in the second form, Chun Kiu or Chun Kiu. And Chun Kiu has techniques where basically you're standing at a fighting distance, you're sparring with someone, he moves back, say we're about 5 feet, and he comes in to kick. So when he comes in to kick, we jam with our foot like this on this angle. So as you can see, I'll stop here for a second so I can talk about this. Basically, he kicks first, I passively react by picking up my foot to this angle. So if he comes in full speed and I'm bridging and he kicks, it tends to turn his body this way. Or if I passively pick up, he kicks, and it tends to open his body more. So when his foot comes and kicks, say for example a side kick, will turn his body to this angle. This is a passive, not so much passive, but I react and I pick up my leg, and his body gets turned by the angle of my foot. So this gives you different kinds of opportunities, because I don't know if his body will be turned this way or will be opened this way when I deflect his oncoming leg with my own leg. So this is not me trying to steer him with my mind, or I'm not actively trying to take him left or right or open him inside or outside. What happens is because I pick up, I can't determine, like two cars coming at you, you don't decide where the front of your car will hit his car. It might hit him more on the left, more on the right, but it will turn his body because of the angle, the ping xing jiao, my feet are in this kind of a line. So this is kind of like a hook. So he kicks, and I jam, and I turn, okay, I can ball by someone. He kicks, and I turn inside, I can ball by him. He kicks, and I turn inside, and I might decide to go right away here. I might decide to go right away to a side kick to the back of the leg, maybe a ball pie, a punch, and so on. So the reality is I don't know if he will turn inside or outside. So when I kick and he picks it up on that angle, I kick to his whatever target I'm going. He needs to jam or stop hit. Jeet Kune Do talks about Jeet Kune Do, Jeet Kune Do, Bruce Lee style talks about stop hitting. Well, in reality, this is a common Chun Kiu principle, Chun Kiu principle. So it's been around for hundreds of years. It's not something Bruce Lee invented. He intercepts me with a stop hit. My body turns ball pie, go. Now he broke it down. He actually hesitated, but you could see the sequence. He could have went faster. He didn't, and thank you. If he had gone maybe faster, I might have hit the wall a bit harder. The point is we're trying to show you how this works. Not necessarily he's using his full fa jin. He's just we're trying to demonstrate how this technique works. So because I kick, my body gets turned, he can bao pai me, and I fly off. Now, is this internal, external? Again, he needs to sense my body to determine the next technique he's going to use, just like all fighters react to the techniques of their opponent. In other words, my reaction determines what he does next. Not he's going to do technique 1, 2, and 3 like a combination. And so stop hitting also uses this idea of, hey, sometimes you have a primary attack that gets deflected, and you have secondary angles and secondary attacks. And being able to feel your opponent's reaction, you yourself can use your internal energy and your alignment and your joints and so on to react to your opponent's motions. So Chun Kiu again is that we're going to block up. If I want to enter with Chun Kiu, I kick, he blocks, and then if I drop my foot in Chun Kiu, whether I kick him or not, for example, if I come in, drop your feet, if I come in and kick someone, he has a reaction to deflect my energy, or my leg. So my leg doesn't go down this way. My leg goes down this way. In other words, it has to be like a shiabu. In other words, your feet are parallel, and that energy contacting his lane when you step will turn his body. Now it might be I kick and he deflects me inside and I step. And because I'm doing a shiabu when I come in, he will open his body. So, irregardless of whether or not I'm successful with that kick, I'm entering. I'm going. And another way to look at it is when he kicks, I step obliquely, and so the kick misses, right? And then I align, and now I can go out with a bow tie and so on. So there are different ways to use the Chun Kiu horse. I come in, he steps obliquely, now he can kick my leg, or if I'm a little closer, he can bow tie me. He can project me backwards or away with his spiral energy. Ball pie has 3 spirals. Or he might decide, he goes in, he ball pies me, I fight him, he kicks my leg. And there he has the geometry to actually get a side kick to my leg. So ball pie depends a lot on, Chun Kiu depends a lot on footwork. Wing Chun people, don't wait for people back here. Let's wait for him to kick and then I'll stop hit him. You're actively attacking when you use Wing Chun. So he picks up, I go, okay, I go. Just now I went and I kick and then I go to my attacking technique. So in other words, he bridges and he feels a bridge. He can kick now. If I push him back, see, if he relaxes here and I push him back to this leg, right? Because I'm putting too much power into my punching hand. I'm giving him a situation where he can put his weight onto his back leg and kick my leg obliquely. And then he arrives, see how he arrives with his foot like this in a horse. Now, of course, if the horse is a little bit wider, make the horse a bit wider. Now, of course, if I want to, bridge on him, he can store power by relaxing. He just has a much wider base to be able to swallow and spit power. Because no matter whether you're kicking or punching, your enemy is going to deflect or block or receive that energy in a number of ways, and you can't decide how he's going to do that. It doesn't matter if it's internal or external. He has some kind of method where he's going to receive your energy and try to give it back to you and hit you and so on, whether it's external or internal, whether he's going for a kick or a punch or a throw. He has to have follow-up attacks and deflections and so on. This is a constant process, so better to have better alignment, better control of your horse, so that he can continuously attack once we start going. So there's no such thing as, well, I wait for someone on this bridge. Oh, let's wait for someone so that I can do a kick. That's not a Wing Chun person. That's nobody I know that does martial arts that way. This is somebody who's never trained, basically, or maybe does YouTube videos, watches YouTube videos and then learns the forms, and then, okay, I'm going to do Wing Chun now. That's not the way it works. But Chun Kiu per se is, so the hands go up in Chun Kiu so that I can open up this guard here. So if I come in and open up this guard, a lot of times people will kick into these holes, right, that open up when you use Shuen. See, there's a hole that I can kick into. Now, of course, if I Shuen and he pushes back, okay, he's pushing me back to my horse. So even forward and backward, someone pushing you back is giving me energy that I can use to kick. So I'm not trying to push out power, I'm trying to use this power to go back to him like a circle. So to use it in a spiral-like fashion, to give back and receive to Tuan and Tu. So I might punch too hard. If he relaxes internally, and I punch and he feels now he can use the kicking power and I might push him back, and you see now I'm in a serious problem. I have a serious problem because the energy pushing on the top is given back to me in the kick. So even being on one leg, it's quite easy to actually give energy back to the person. The other part about Shen Chao is quite commonly is a counter kick. So if you relax your front leg and he kicks my front leg, you can come back. So in other words, he kicks my leg, I let my hip go, relax my hip, kick my leg hard, and go back. So just now I did the sweeping kick. But if I contact his body on this side, as I sweep it this way, and wherever I contact his body, this will act kind of like a throw. So when Chun Kiu kicks there's a paradigm where you can use kicking as throwing. And this is perfectly normal application of Wing Chun. In other words, when you Shuen someone, he pushes back to you, and you feel power here, right? You basically take him this way and hook him this way, and you have your pick-up step. This is basically a pick-up step, an angular step in Wing Chun. Or conversely, he punches that hand, you catch, you Shuen, you lap out, and this leg will kick this way as you take him this way. This is also Chun Kiu. So in other words, I punch him, he lapsells me, and now as I go this way, he kicks my leg that way, and I get taken in two different directions at the same time. This can be, this is a Chun Kiu method of redirecting my punching force down to his back leg, because the power is coming to his back leg as this leg is taking me this way. Or conversely, if I cross punch and he bridges with the other Shuen, in other words, this is a bridging technique. I can punch, as I punch, he intercepts me. I punch, he goes up, I push out, and now he goes this way, and my body gets taken down because we have two spirals which are going in different directions. So this is a good way to deal with someone as a bridging technique. Not waiting for someone in a stance, okay, I'm going to do this. It's just the opportunity on the fly, without rehearsal, right, of dealing with someone's energy that's coming at you. As they kick, you can't say you're going to hit someone first. You just go and he goes. And all of a sudden you have this energy it's coming at you. You have to store it and release it. Twen, two basically happens at the same time. Twen and two can be in opposite directions. It's not like, oh, I first Twen, then I two. I need to be able to, he coming at me, he kicks me, I okay. I did very lightly, but you can see, he comes at me, this kick is coming, I have an angle, so in other words, he could kick me, and I get hit. The point is, when I get hit, I need to relax to be able to store. Kick hard, I relax, store, now I have an angle where I can use either the kicking technique or just your hands in the same way. So it's not, this moving this way and this way is not much different than me doing this, or conversely, me doing this. These are opposite spirals. So you can apply the hands the same way as you apply your feet, as long as you maintain your internal mechanics. And you know, it's not like, hey, let's do this, I'm going to do the kicking technique now. Let's chase that kicking technique. That would be in Chinese, would be tanda. Tanda, you're greedy to get a certain zaosi or technique. And John, can you say what you think about tanda?
Tanda.
In Chinese, say what you think about tanda.
中背打.
Yeah, so tanda zhongbeida means basically you're greedy to get a technique, you're chasing something in the moment which isn't there. You may think you're going to punch someone, so you go for it, and meanwhile your opponents move to another position. For example, if I punch someone, and if I get a paida, and I start to think, oh, I should biao him, and he shifts his leg back here, now my weight is on this leg, he can easily kick me, right, without much effort, because I'm chasing that punch to the head. And let's face it, guys, as you guys have all heard from most of your teachers and masters, in whatever style you're in, most people say, oh, 70, 75% of people go for your head. So people really want to hit you in the head, and this is a kind of tanda. A good fighter can use the fact that you're trying to hit him in the head to his advantage. And so stop hitting, whether it's early in the stop hit or late in the stop hit, has practical applications. And one of them is definitely kicking and throwing. So when you chase a punch or a technique, a punch to the head, it's quite easy to kick someone. So he punches my head, I shift back and I kick. This is just me moving back from that punch, right? Redirecting maybe and then going for a kick. So it's not really so much whether I go first or he goes first. Bridging techniques can be applied. The bridge itself is an attack. So when he picks up, quite commonly, I bridge and I kick at the same time. So he bridges, relax, bridge, he got a pressure and he can take me down or kick my legs if he wants to break my legs at the same time. Again, the angle of the lapsal, when he relaxes, he has his horse back there, the angle of the lapsal and the angle in which he hits my knee determines whether he breaks my leg. In other words, if he just pushes this way, my body will go back this way. But if he hits my body, he can't always control the angle. If he hits the angle where about here, my feet cannot go up, and that will definitely rip the Achilles in certain angles. So again, the angle of how you hit his leg is just as important whether it becomes a takedown or a breaking technique on the leg. But the fact is, he doesn't have to wait for me to do that. He can just come in, shren, kick at the same time. Now, if I wait on that leg, because I'm chasing a punch, he's going to get a kicking, or a throwing result, shall we say. And again, we're using result as describing what happens to my body, because he can't say he's going to throw me or kick me. It just happened to go that way. But, there's definitely applying certain techniques that we can describe after the fact. So, Xuan Chao, basically, Xuan Chao is also, you kick on the entry and then go to certain kinds of techniques. Now, whether those are passive or active, again, passive meaning he moves you to a position where you have to apply other techniques, or you start out actively and from there you have a branch off of different techniques. So this is kind of like an intermediate way of looking at Wing Chun. You have these going on an angular angle. So for example, he punches, bonks out, and a side kick. So in other words, Xuan Chao teaches you to go this way, right? And your shoulder goes out. This is actually a strike. So he picks up, bam! You go to vital points, you cross his angle, you hit the nuts, and you're going away from this hand, and then you're shifting your weight to here, where this hand can't hit you, and you side kick, different points on his leg. Now if you're a little closer, you sweep, you can sweep. So Lan Sao will sweep him. Pak Sao, slapping his body, will sweep him. Lap Sao will sweep him. Gun Shou will sweep him in that modality. In the same angle. In other words, if I'm here and I kick someone, and I drop my leg down there, right? Even Bong Sao will sweep someone. Because you're on the outside. As long as they don't, if I get here and I say, hey, let's use power. Okay, you missed the point. You need to move your hands in a coordinated, relaxed way with internal linkage. So if he kicks me and his leg drops down my leg like this, just put it down there, and he has that wedge angle. And then I'm fighting the wedge. He just relax, Bong Sao, relax, and I go down. Because I fought his kicking leg. Whether that happens when he contacts me and he pops me with a pie, a gun, a bong sao, and so on. The point being is I'm blocked at the bottom, and the top has an energetic reaction. This is energy coming in a different direction, usually a transverse angle or a spiral angle. And different Wing Chun salsa or techniques have different kinds of energy, different kinds of direction, shall we say. But the fact is I got kicked here. So in other words, if he kicks me here and pie here, my legs go one way, my body goes the other way. This is an entry. It's not waiting for someone on a bridge. Oh, let's wait for someone on the bridge for someone to attack you. This is an active process. 2 different spirals, well, actually 3, because when you step on a xie line, the xie line is Chinese, but xie bu, your dantian, your center of gravity will turn, and since all Wing Chun movements have spirals, you basically have 3 spirals that actively bridge. When he's doing Wing Chun with proper alignment and proper body mechanics. So it's not just a physical, hey, let's go in this direction and punch. You're actually actively bridging with internal alignment. And you don't see that on a video. If someone doesn't talk about it, you just think, oh, he's just punching. But that's not actually true. Wing Chun motions all have corkscrew kind of spiral alignments. And the better the alignment, the easier, the more effortless it looks. And people say, oh, that's fake. Well, it's not fake, it's just you have better alignment. And you don't have to move much when you have better alignment to release energy in an effortless way. But calling it internal doesn't help. Because people are still punching you in the physical world. They're trying to hit you. And you have to react in the physical world to this guy coming at you. It's just not all internal body mechanics there. You have to still bridge at appropriate times and so on. Now, the wooden dummy is a little bit different. In a sense, wooden dummy, every time you bridge, you basically are attacking. Not mean that you have the internal desire to hit someone, but all the techniques have their attacking qualities. So if I'm on a simple idea of that is like when someone punches me and I get a bong sao on this side, his reaction is to punch my head. So John would punch my head here. So obviously I can't be on this line on a wooden dummy position. He comes in deep into my horse. He wants to punch my head. So I rotate my body by using my horse, right? Rotate around the corner, and then I kick his joint, his body with a spiral. See my foot spiraling here. I don't go straight here to his knee, but I spiral in like that. So whether you kick him on the top of the leg or you end up contacting the lower leg, this is a spiral as you go around. So in other words, he's chasing me here and I go around here and I kick him. So as you can see, John has a bonk, he's in a yang ma, and I go for his head, and he bridges his right hand with my left fist. So I punch, he goes around the corner, and now he has a chance to kick this leg with, quite commonly in the third section of the wooden dummy, would be a front kick. And this is a way to deal with a simultaneous punch and kicking technique. So in other words, I punch and he reacts with a change of his horse to another position. So quite commonly in Wing Chun, you're on one line, this is coming, and you pop and you kick on this line. Or he pushes you out, second form, and you kick. So bridging per se in Wing Chun, you don't have to first let him attack. If you got a guard and you're coming in, you pop and then you kick. You pop, he pushes you away maybe, and then you kick. And one big thing to remember is let your hands, don't follow his hands. In other words, if I'm here and he pops me away, don't keep your hands here. Because John can just shift out, a roundhouse kick to my nuts, please. See, my problem is I'm not guarding my my stomach. If your leg is kicking, right, and I go here, right, this is covering my gates here. So he pushes me away, I pop and I reframe over here. He kicks me and I kick inside. This is what's covering your nuts and your stomach. And a good roundhouse kicker, if you move off to that side, he's basically lateral to me. He will always, most karate, taekwondo people will throw that roundhouse kick right here. That's just basic 101 basics, right? You have to, he goes laterally and he kicks me because I'm thinking he's here. He's already gone laterally. So if I go laterally, that's like, wow, right in bread and butter roundhouse kick zone there. He's gonna throw. So I can't be framing his hands here, just thinking about how should I hit him with my hands. This is a mistake a lot of Wing Chun people make. They think hit, and then they frame the hands here, meanwhile this guy steps away, and he throws his roundhouse kick, and you're dead. So I need to hit, he pushes away, and I have coverage of my own as I kick or not kick. Whether I'm successful with the kick, I don't give him a big gate here for him to kick into. So a lot of Wing Chun people die in this position. They just think, oh, I need to do Chur Shou. Well, Wing Chun's not Chur Shou. Wing Chun is not sticky hands. Chi Sao. Wing Chun is not Chi Sao. Chi Sao is you just stick to the hands and you just think that's going to solve all your problems. First of all, the wooden dummy is not just about sticky hands. It's about attacking as you bridge. So as I bridge, he come, I go. If his hands are up, I go. I don't need to wait for this person to apply, for example, Pai Ti, Tan Da Ti, and so on. You need to think of it more as attack as you bridge. When you bridge, whether his hands are in the way, if his hands are in the way, you punch. So he comes in, he punches me. That's bridging, right? I didn't react. I didn't block his punch. Okay, so he comes in, he punches me, I give him a bridge. Now he can kick me. There's a basic bridge. He is attacking first because he knows I'm an aggressor. So a lot of people get confused, okay, I'm going to Chur Shou, I'm going to Tan Blanc, I'm going to do this stuff with this person. And then they get confused, well, I have to do that. Well, that's not Wing Chun. Wing Chun is attack in a very efficient and expeditious manner. And if he doesn't block, keep hitting. Keep punching, kicking, throwing, and so on. And of course, it's sophisticated because Chur Shou comes in when I do actually block or defect his kicks. So Wing Chun per se, if you were already bridging, for example, he pushes me and I shift off and I kick. If we're rolling and he Quan Sao and he pushes out too hard, not so bad, but just give me a little power, right? Okay, so I can kick. In other words, every time he pushes me to this leg in Chur Shou, when you turn, if he's hitting me, come in, and I feel like, hey, I can't jump sell this person. I shift off. I don't push my hands away necessarily. I shift off and I can kick. In other words, I'm the one that's pushing him if he's got a Yangma, and I push him to he Quan Sao's and he goes to the side and he ends up go the other way, and now I've pushed him to this leg, so he can kick to any leg he wants to, because I was the one that pushed him to that leg with my power from my punching hand. Whatever hand I'm throwing. So on the fly, punch. I'm basically storing, it's receiving, it's coming, punch again, and then now I'm at my kicking range. Now, if he runs away, there's your Lap Sao. So Lap Sao in a lot of ways in kicking is when someone goes away from your punch or from your kick, go away, Lap Sao, and throw a kick or a punch based on the fact that he's running away. So you can maintain a position of attack where you can punch or kick because he's running away from your attack. He's trying to slip it, run away from it. So quite common on a tanda, if you just tanda and I run away, that's his chance to Lap Sao and kick me. I mean, I basically, when I'm running away at that moment, I can't reach him. It doesn't matter if I'm throwing a Wing Chun punch or a hook or anything. I'm running away. I'm trying to slip this initial punch. Maybe I'm going to go over here and throw my hook and so on. And I'm giving him a kicking range from the get-go, from the beginning. And that just kind of makes it much harder for me to do, you know, actions where, hey, I can slip that punch or go underneath. Anytime now, he can just fire that kick. There's nothing stopping him from kicking both of my legs. The fact that I'm trying to slip a punch or duck a punch is murder to a style that actually sticks. This is just, if he lets me do that, he basically didn't take advantage of his chance to kick me from the get-go. He just has to have the right reaction. Oh, I'm breaking my own balance. I'm ducking, you know. I'm shifting my weight from my waist, which basically is a bai ma. A bai ma means you compromise your own center of gravity to avoid something in some ways. So I go like this, bao pai right now, boom, and I fly off because I'm just thinking about how to avoid that punch, how to duck, how to slip, how to throw, how to get an angle where I can hit back. I'm not being aware of the fact that he already has a sticking chance here. Now, once I do that like this, if I do that, he just walks in and ball pie. In other words, he's actively attacking without sticking. He doesn't have to be, oh, I have to stick and then do ball pie. He just needs to get me to, because I'm evading, I'm trying to hit him, and I'm already misaligning myself. So internal stylists will bridge and release. And there's no churcho involved there. The churcho is the moment of the physical contact. That's churcho. The fact that I'm ducking and I break my own posture to do it means bao pai now and bam, and I fly off. And this is something people don't understand about soft styles. They just think, oh well, he always has to be in contact. He has to tway show or churcho, and this is complete nonsense. Most of the time when you're using soft styles or contact styles where you get contact, the bridge is quite brief. And someone's either flying backwards or hitting the ground, or there's a throw going on, or a kick. And it's not going to be, hey, let's do panso for half an hour with someone. This is just a practice tool that you see people doing, and it's fine, but that's not fighting. So, briefly in this video, we've talked a little bit about Chun Kiu. We've very briefly talked about wooden dummy techniques in terms of going from a bong sao to a dui jiao ma kind of position. We've talked a little bit about how you pick up your leg to deflect a person passively left or right, which can be active as well. We've talked very briefly about bridging with the kicking techniques, and there's lots more things we could discuss, but I think we'll stop here for today, and thanks for listening to our video, watching our video, and I hope you subscribe. Take care.
See you next time.